Hello viewers, here is another video on learning good English on the YouTube channel Sumita Roy's English Classroom. Please don't forget to watch the videos completely, like, share, comment and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Today we are going to talk about transforming yourself from an average speaker of English to an excellent one. All of us want to become excellent, but many of us find that we are only average speakers. Great orators are people who give excellent speeches. Great orators have told us that there are certain tricks which, if we follow properly, we become excellent speakers. I'm going to mention 6 of these today. If you watch entirely, you will get all the 6, but getting them is not enough. You need to practice each one of those 6 to become good. The first and foremost is to believe in yourself and believe in the words which you are speaking. Suppose you're speaking about something which you do not believe yourself, then you cannot be an impressive speaker. You cannot be excellent because your thoughts and your ideas are in conflict with your words, the words which you're speaking. And if you don't have confidence in yourself, then you can never convince the other person that person should listen with confidence. Therefore, the response you get depends on how much of yourself you put into what you are saying. This is the first point. How would you practice it? That I have to tell you. The most important practice is to keep telling yourself, I can do it. This positive self-talk is very important. I must do it. I will be able to do it. This gives you self-confidence. Do it here means speak good English, speak excellently, impress everybody with my English. That is what you have to do for this. And then of course, believing in the ideas. Don't try to speak about something which you are not convinced about, which you don't believe in. Suppose on this channel, I started speaking to you about politics or political commentary, I would be failing as a speaker because I don't know much about politics. All my life I have taught English. Therefore, I can give you some ideas on English, but I can't give you ideas on some other subject. If you ask me to speak about something which I do not know, then I'm not convinced about what I'm speaking. All of you will have this. So try to speak on areas which interest you. While you're practicing, choose those topics on which you know something, which are your favorite and which you have many ideas about. Then what you will do is you will get confidence in what you're saying and confidence in yourself. Point number 1. Let us move on to the second point. Your best teacher, it's not an external teacher, not somebody else, whether it is AI or it's a YouTube video or it is a physical classroom which you're attending. The best teacher is your own speaking practice. Remember, only you can improve yourself. Unless you speak, your speaking does not improve. If you give me a chance to speak by making videos for you on YouTube, then my English is improving. I'm getting a lot of opportunity to speak to all of you. But unless you do it yourself, how will you become a better speaker? How will you change from an average speaker to an excellent one? You will only do it when you practice. So your best teacher is your practice. Take ideas from all of us who are telling you how to become. But if you want to become, you try and practice. So every day what I would recommend is you choose one or two topics which are of interest to you. One or two topics on which you feel happy to speak. You don't struggle to speak. You need not prepare hard to speak, but you can speak. For instance, you get very angry with somebody and then you want to, say some bad words. Don't do that. You think in your mind and you start speaking by saying, today I got very angry. It is not good to be angry. I should not have been angry. But this person behaved in such a way that I got angry. I said, hello, how are you? That person did not answer, so I got angry. Then you think, but why should I get angry? I said, hello, how are you? Because I wanted to say it. That person did not want to reply. Maybe that person has some problem today. If I asked, how are you? That person would have to tell me the problem, some crisis. Therefore, that person kept silent. So why am I getting angry? I should not get angry. If you speak like this, if you practice like this, your anger becomes better and your English also becomes better. You can do that. Now we move to the third point, and that is, suppose you struggle to speak, then beforehand you think in your mind or you write on a piece of paper. Planning always helps us to speak better. Without planning, if we try to speak, it becomes difficult. I have given you some videos on extempore speaking, speaking without preparation. Those videos you can watch if you want, but in case you are still struggling, in case you are still a bad speaker, a speaker who doesn't impress anybody, if you start speaking, others stop you by saying, please don't speak anymore, you are not speaking well. Then what do you need to do? You need to plan what you're going to say. Especially for beginners who are learning the language, this is very important. Because if you do not plan beforehand, if you don't have some idea in your mind, then it becomes very difficult to speak. Suppose I want to tell you about how to become excellent as a speaker, I need to think in my mind that what are the ways in which great people have told us they have become excellent speakers. I must do that much planning. I must do that much background. But I'm not writing it down anywhere. I'm keeping them in memory. And then I'm using the points one by one from my memory, putting it into thoughts and then speaking it out in words. This is exactly the practice you have to do by making a plan, by writing or thinking beforehand and speaking. So every day when you want to speak, please practice one which is casual, like the point number 2 I told you, and please practice one which is formal, where you have good planning and good preparation. If you can do these 2 exercises, you will find that within a few days, you are becoming excellent. Many of you are still struggling by saying, I cannot understand English in some other language in your comments. But that doesn't help you. You must begin. Look at the beginners' videos and begin. Once you begin, then only you can go forward. If you stand outside the gate and say, I cannot enter, then nobody can make you enter. You need to open the gate and walk in. That is what English is all about. So that is the third point. Make a plan if you want to become excellent. Now the next one is, as you speak, try to remember some examples, some quotations, some famous ideas or stories which you can use in your speech. Suppose the topic is relevant to that, then you use those. Suppose you're talking about motivation or you're talking about initiative. Initiative is to go forward and do something new. Then you can talk about the story of Isaac Newton on whose head an apple fell. Apples keep falling and they might fall on many thousands of people's heads. But not everybody becomes Isaac Newton. What happened? The thing that happened is that he took the initiative. So your topic of initiative or your topic of creativity, you can use this story. Whenever you're speaking, if you want to be an excellent speaker, you must be able to give such examples. Interesting examples, relevant examples, examples from your own life if you want. And even in job interviews, if you do this, this is called illustrating your speech. So if you illustrate, illustration means picture. Illustration means drawing, but I'm not talking about a visual picture. I'm talking about a word picture. That means language. Good language to describe whatever you're saying by narrating an experience or a story or a quotation. Your English becomes excellent. Your ability to speak becomes excellent. For all this, you need preparation. Please understand that it cannot be done without preparation. And that is why I told you that practice is your best teacher. That was the second point. That don't depend on external teachers only. The best teacher, the final teacher is your own speaking, your own practice. Now we move on to point number 5. Point number 5 is, if you want to become a good speaker, you must first become a good listener. Unless you are a good listener, you can never be a good speaker. Now, what do you gain by listening? If you listen to great speeches, Jawaharlal Nehru giving the first speech after independence, 1947. So you have the Tryst with Destiny, that speech, so famous a speech. You hear the speeches of Barack Obama. You find that he's an excellent speaker. You find speeches of great people in any language, whichever language you want. Language is not important here, but you see the style. Now, when you listen to all this, you get ideas and you get excellence in language when you want to speak. So listening is the best way in which you can practice speaking, because you have the measurement of excellence. You say, I heard a speech today which was excellent. Now, what are you going to do? You are going to say, how much practice should I do to reach that level of excellence? So that becomes your benchmark. Benchmark is measurement. So your measurement of excellence is that speech which you heard, which you listened carefully and you learned from. Also, when you have become a good speaker, if you have an audience who asks you questions, you have to be a good listener. To be an excellent speaker, to be an impressive and inspiring speaker, you have to listen to others in order to understand what they are asking or what they are suggesting. Unless you are a good listener, you can never be an excellent speaker. Very often, when we teach for a long time, teachers, we lose the power of listening. But unless we listen, we cannot be good teachers, because each student has a different requirement. The student cannot go to anybody except to the teacher. So we as teachers need to be good listeners also. not only good speakers. So all of you who want to become good speakers, please listen carefully, listen first, and practice listening so that you can use that listening data to practice your speaking. Now we come to what we call as audience skill. I have mentioned this earlier also, that we have something called audience skill. Audience skill implies that we never speak for ourselves. If I speak, it is for you. If you speak, it is for me. If I write, it is for the reader. If somebody else writes, it is for me as a reader. So communication is always a two-way process. It starts here, it goes round, and again it comes back. That is how communication is. So audience skill is you have to understand your audience. Who is an excellent speaker? You know, an average speaker is one who goes on speaking without bothering about the audience. I have a speech, I want to give it. Finished. Audience don't matter. But in online, we don't have that problem because I cannot see any of you. Suppose you are making a face after listening to this video. I cannot see that face. I cannot find your emotions. But when you are speaking to an audience face to face, the audience might be one person, it might be 100, or it might be 1,000, it might be 10,000. You must understand their emotions, their requirements, their likes and dislikes. To be an excellent speaker, you must also be an excellent human being. Unless you are a good human being, you cannot learn to become an excellent speaker. Sometimes when you get in touch with me and I tell you that I have no time to talk to you because I'm busy throughout the day. Teaching English is not the only thing I like doing. I like doing many other things. I like painting, I like stitching, I like socializing. All those things I have to do, and the day is only 24 hours. I don't have a day which is 48 hours. So when I say that I have no time to speak to you, please watch the videos and learn, because on telephone I can't teach you English in 1 minute or half a minute. They get very upset. They feel terrible. Now, what can I do to help them? I'm seeing their emotion. But when they communicate, they are not seeing my emotion. So when we communicate, when we want to become excellent in speaking, in communication, then we need to think of the other person. That when we do, that is point number 6 which I wanted to give you, then we become excellent speakers. All these have to be practiced together over a period of time. Recently somebody says that when I'm alone I can speak very well, but when I come in front of people I cannot speak well at all. I will make a separate video and give you that. But today what I'm telling you is, when you start practicing, practice first few days alone. Next few days go out and talk to people. Try to capture the attention of whoever you find and speak to them. Unless you get this practice of speaking, your speaking will not improve. It will not reach excellence. So you have to find some audience. You have to find somebody. Many of you say that we have nobody around who speaks English. Don't worry if you have nobody around who speaks English. First, for a week or 10 days, you learn some English. Then you start speaking to those who don't know English in English for some time every day. They don't know a word, they laugh at you or they say in your language, we don't understand. But you continue to practice, you continue to speak. Listening to that language listening to English for 10 days, they will start articulating. Then you have built your own group. As a leader, you have built a group where English can be practiced. If you do these things, your speaking will certainly become excellent. I wish you all the best and thank you.